Hey, Lakerland, Duncan here. Let's talk about some of the things that the Lakers need for the next offseason. Okay, but before we do, please like my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell for notifications, comment in the box below, and come find me on YouTube, Google Plus, as well as Twitter. Alright, so let's talk about first the needs. First thing we need to do is we need to add veteran leadership. We have a young team, young core, and just quite honestly lack veteran leadership. We need playoff or championship experience. Really, none of our players have that. We have a very young core again, and we lack real championship slash playoff experience. We need more toughness. A lot of our players are very timid, just not aggressive. They get beat too easy. They don't want to take over games. They're not fully matured. Simply put, we need to get tougher. We need attitude. You don't see none of our players slamming their chests. You don't see them dunking, yelling, screaming. None of that. We need more attitude on this team. Next, free throw shooting. Our team free throw shooting was atrocious and embarrassing, and quite honestly, it needs to get way better. Period. Enough said. Now, we need players who fit our system, which is basically this. Run. Run like hell. Play solid defense, turn it into offense, and score a lot of points. So let's talk about some of the things that we should do. First, I want to talk about the Kawhi Leonard trade. Okay, I believe the Lakers should offer Brandon Ingram with this year's Cavs pick, next year's pick, as well as the second round picks for both this year and next year. Okay, and I think by far this will be the best offer the Spurs will get. Not a lot of teams will touch Kwame having 1 year left. His attitude, his maturity, the lack of playing, wanting to sit out for the playoffs, really just like jeopardizing the whole season for his team. I can see the Spurs cutting ways with him, and they'll take the best offer. And honestly, I think this would be the best offer. Suddenly, the Lakers have one of the best defensive players in the game. A superstar and a pretty solid piece to bringing in more free agents. So let's continue. Next, I believe Julius Randle is a big piece of this future. Okay, he was given expectations by Magic, and he met or surpassed every one of those expectations. He was by far one of the Lakers' most aggressive, defensive, best rebounders, best playmakers this entire season, and he should be rewarded with a 2-year, $30 million contract, $15 million per year. I believe having Randle in the works will go a long ways to bringing in and bringing back that solid core that we had this year. Next, our big man presence. See, I would notify Brook Lopez that he will be back on an $18.5 million contract using his bird rights and possibly the luxury tax if needed. Suddenly, the Lakers have a solid scoring option who fits the system, knows the system, and another big key to bringing in and swaying free agents. Now, I want to also bring in Nerlens Noel. He's a solid rebounder, a rim defender, and he can finish in transition at the basket. I believe his contract will be very inexpensive, and the Magic will be Dallas will be looking to get rid of him. And simply put, he can come off the bench for Brook, and the Lakers would have one of the most exciting bench defender centers in the game. So, with that being said, I think the next step is Paul George, who would be looking at this roster. He'd be looking at Lonzo, He'd be looking at Kwame Leonard. He'd be looking at Randall, Kazuma, Brook Lopez, Noel. And honestly, I think he sees this as a young team with a bright future. And I think he easily joins. Now the Lakers have Paul George and Kwame Leonard, along with Brook Lopez, Lonzo Ball, Randall, Kazuma, and Noel and company. Now all they got to do is find a solid backup point guard. And this point guard needs playoff experience. He needs attitude, toughness, the ability to score, to mentor Lonzo into becoming a monster. He needs to have some defensive skill. And just teach Lonzo attitude. He needs to bring that kind of attitude to the Lakers. To me, it's simple. Rajon Rondo fits perfectly. He's a pass-first point guard who is not afraid to take it to the hoop to score. He's not afraid to play defense, and he's not afraid to yak and talk smack back at players. He brings attitude, toughness, and experience off that bench. Suddenly, we have one of the best duos at point guard in all of basketball. And our style of play doesn't change from from starters to backups. Now, with the final pieces, I want to fill in the holes. I want to bring in Derrick Rose on a veteran minimum contract. And I want to bring him as a reserve scorer. Somebody who, if needed, can just simply score baskets. Next, I want to bring back Alex Caruso and Thomas Rare with Thomas Bryant and Zubac. So here's my roster for next year. Lonzo, Rondo, Caruso, point guards. Shooting guards, Paul George, Josh Hart, Derrick Rose. Small forwards, Kwame Leonard, Travis Ware. I want to leave that final spot open. I want to, of course, stretch and waive Lu Deng in the process. Randall, Kazuma, and Thomas Bryant at power forward. With Brook Lopez, Nerlens Noel, and Zubac at center. Suddenly, this Lakers team is amazing. Hard to beat, one of the most defensive units in all of basketball, and it can score almost at will. What do you think, Lakerland? Would you take this roster? Please comment in the box below. Hit that bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And come find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Google+. Let's go Lakers. Duncan out.